The rain had not stopped since morning, and the quiet house felt heavier than ever. 2 months after the divorce, Daniel sat alone at the small kitchen table, staring at a cold cup of coffee he had forgotten to drink. The silence of the house used to comfort him, but now it only reminded him of everything that had fallen apart. Toys were scattered across the living room floor, a tiny pink shoe lay under the couch, and somewhere down the hallway, his 3-year-old daughter Lily slept peacefully, unaware that her world had changed forever. Daniel had promised himself he would stay strong for her, but some nights the weight of loneliness pressed so hard on his chest that he could barely breathe, and on this rainy afternoon, just as he was trying to gather the strength to keep going, someone knocked on the door, a knock that would bring a secret capable of changing everything. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unexpected love, please take a moment to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Kindness, and tell us in the comments, where are you watching from today? Your support helps these stories reach more hearts around the world. Daniel slowly walked to the door, expecting maybe a delivery or a neighbor, but when he opened it, he froze. Standing in the rain was Emma, his ex-wife Sarah's younger sister. Her hair was damp from the storm, her eyes red as if she had been crying, and she clutched her coat tightly around herself. Daniel had not seen her since the divorce, and the surprise of seeing a familiar face from the past sent a strange wave of emotions through him. Emma and Daniel had always gotten along well, almost like siblings themselves, but after the separation everything had become distant and uncomfortable. Families split in ways that left invisible scars, and Daniel had assumed Emma had chosen to stay on Sarah's side. But Emma did not look like someone who had come to take sides. She looked like someone carrying something heavy. Daniel stepped aside and let her in. The house smelled faintly of laundry detergent and the warm oatmeal he had made earlier for Lily. Emma glanced around slowly, noticing the scattered toys, the folded baby blankets, and the tired look on Daniel's face. There was a quiet sadness in the room that no one needed to explain. Daniel could sense something unusual immediately. Emma's hands trembled slightly as she removed her coat, and for a long moment she simply stood there as if unsure where to begin. Outside, the rain tapped softly against the windows, filling the silence between them. 2 months earlier, Daniel's life had collapsed in ways he never imagined. His marriage with Sarah had slowly unraveled after years of misunderstandings, financial stress, and emotional distance. What once began as love had turned into arguments, cold silences, and finally a decision that neither of them wanted but both accepted. Sarah had chosen to move to another city to start over, leaving Lily in Daniel's care because her new job and apartment were not suitable for a child. Daniel had not complained. Lily was his entire world. Still, raising a child alone had been far harder than he expected. Sleepless nights, daycare expenses, cooking, cleaning, working overtime, and trying to remain emotionally strong for a little girl who constantly asked when mommy would come back. It was a battle he fought every single day. Emma finally sat down at the kitchen table. Daniel noticed her eyes drifting toward the hallway where Lily slept. Something about the way she looked at that hallway carried a mix of love, guilt, and worry. Then she finally spoke. What she told Daniel that afternoon felt almost unreal. Sarah had not been honest about why she left. Emma had come because she could not carry the secret anymore. Sarah had not simply moved away for work. The truth was far more complicated and painful. Over the past year, Sarah had struggled with overwhelming emotional stress and anxiety, something she had hidden from almost everyone, even Daniel. She had felt trapped between responsibilities, expectations, and her own fear of failing as a mother and a wife. Instead of asking for help, she convinced herself that leaving was the only way to stop hurting the people she loved. Emma explained that Sarah had been attending therapy in another city, trying to rebuild herself emotionally before returning to Lily's life. She had not told Daniel because she was ashamed and afraid that he would see her as weak. Daniel sat there in stunned silence. For weeks he had believed Sarah simply abandoned them. He had replayed old arguments in his mind, blaming himself sometimes, blaming her other times. But hearing this new truth shifted something deep inside him. Pain was still there, but so was understanding. Emma wiped tears from her face as she admitted another reason she had come. Sarah had been asking about Lily constantly but was too afraid to reach out. She believed Daniel hated her now, and that Lily would be better off without her until she fixed herself. Emma said quietly that Sarah cried almost every night. Daniel looked toward the hallway again where Lily slept, her tiny chest rising and falling peacefully. He thought about the countless nights Lily asked about her mother, and suddenly the anger he had carried began to feel heavier than forgiveness. Life had not been fair to any of them. They had all been drowning in different ways. Daniel did not say much after Emma finished explaining everything. Instead, he walked down the hallway and gently opened Lily's bedroom door. The small lamp cast a soft golden glow across the room. Lily was hugging her stuffed rabbit, breathing softly. For a moment, Daniel simply stood there watching his daughter sleep. Children deserved love, not silence. They deserved truth, not broken pieces of adult pride. When he returned to the kitchen, Emma looked nervous, as if waiting for judgment, but Daniel surprised her. Instead of anger, there was quiet calm in his voice. He told Emma that healing does not begin with blame. It begins with courage, and if Sarah was trying to rebuild herself for Lily, then maybe she deserved the chance to try again, not necessarily as a wife, but as a mother. Emma broke down crying, overwhelmed by the kindness she had not expected. That rainy afternoon did not magically fix everything. Broken relationships do not repair themselves overnight. But something important shifted that day. The walls of silence began to crack, and through those cracks, understanding slowly entered. Over the next few weeks, small changes began happening. Sarah started sending short messages asking about Lily. At first they were simple, asking if she was healthy, if she was sleeping well, what new words she had learned. Daniel responded carefully but kindly. Eventually, Sarah asked if she could see Lily through a video call. The first time Lily saw her mother on the screen, her eyes lit up with pure joy that no adult conflict could erase. Daniel watched quietly from the side of the room, realizing something powerful. Children do not measure love the way adults do, they simply feel it. Months later, when Sarah felt emotionally stronger, she finally returned to visit. The reunion between mother and daughter was filled with tears, laughter, and 1,000 small moments that reminded everyone why family matters. Daniel and Sarah never returned to being husband and wife, but they became something equally important. Two parents learning how to stand on the same side again for the sake of their daughter. And Emma, the sister who carried the courage to reveal the truth, remained the quiet bridge that helped rebuild what once seemed permanently broken. Before we reach the end of this story, here's a special request for you. Please comment the word kindness below if you believe that forgiveness can change lives. Because sometimes the strongest families are not the ones who never break, but the ones who find the strength to rebuild. 2 months after the divorce, when Emma knocked on Daniel's door with a secret, none of them realized that the truth she carried would become the first step toward healing. Not perfect healing, but real healing. And if this story touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Kindness. Your support helps spread stories that remind us that compassion, understanding, and second chances still exist in this world. Because sometimes, the smallest act of honesty can open the door